Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my blog, Let's Get Your Wheels Turning. Today on Let's Get Your Wheels Turning, we are going to be talking about the known psychotic disorder, schizophrenia. What if I told you schizophrenia is really not what you think it is? Many people think it's just a disorder that focuses only on delusions and hallucinations. But you're wrong. Schizophrenia has 3 symptom categories. 1, the positive symptoms. 2, the negative symptoms. And 3, the cognitive symptoms. The positive symptoms are your psychotic symptoms. These are your hallucinations, delusional thoughts, as well as thought disorder or movement disorder. The movement disorder are those agitated behaviors that you may see someone doing sitting in a booth of a restaurant. Your hallucinations are, snowflakes are in my house. When someone has experienced positive symptoms, you may see them talking to themselves as if someone is really there when there really isn't. And you can see that in this next video. Next are the negative symptoms. These are the symptoms that require your emotion and mood. Oftentimes, people, when they experience negative symptoms, express flat affect, so the inability to recognize their own emotions or someone else's emotions, as well as reduced feelings and pleasure of everyday life, difficulty beginning and sustaining activities, as well as reduced speaking. This next photo I'm about to show you is of an individual who has lack of emotions. The last group are your cognitive symptoms. These symptoms include poor executive functioning, trouble focusing or paying attention, as well as problems with your working memory. But that's enough fun facts. On Let's Get Your Wheels Turning, we like to talk about the neuroscience of disorders. But that's enough fun facts. On Let's Get Your Wheels Turning, we like to talk about the neuroscience of disorders. Now, every time we learn about schizophrenia in a psychology class, they always tell you there's too much dopamine. Well, they're wrong. Well, not really, but kinda. When relating to schizophrenia, dopamine is an impact, but it's not the major impact. The dopamine hypothesis started in 1970, so a long time ago. However, dopamine is only in charge of the positive symptoms. So what's in charge of the negative and cognitive symptoms? Well, you see, in 1980, they finally got their wheels turning, and they realized that glutamate is in charge of the cognitive and negative symptoms. Did you know glutamate is an excitatory neurotransmitter that is reliable for 60% of the neurons in our body? So here's how it works. In our brain, we have this thing called the basal ganglia. I like to call it the BG. In the BG, we have this thing called the role of the striatum. This is the gateway for your neurotransmitters, so it either allows too much in, the right amount in, or too little in. Think of it as border patrol for your neurotransmitters. Well, when border patrol isn't working properly, it causes cell death and damage in your brain. For instance, the role of striatum, when dysfunctional, allows excess dopamine and glutamate, which then causes cell death and brain damage caused by the excessive glutamate, which then results in brain damaging, contributing to the excessive amount of dopamine, which then leads to your positive, cognitive, and negative symptoms. Now you're probably all wondering, well, how do you cure schizophrenia? Well, let me tell you, friends, there is no cure. There is a thing called Band-Aids, medical Band-Aids, medication such as pills. And relating to schizophrenia, these medication Band-Aids are called antipsychotics. And you want to know the problem with these medical Band-Aids? Is that they only stop the positive symptoms. So even though I may not see the snowflakes in my living room, I still can't talk to people. I still can't recognize emotions, but at least I'm not crazy. Antipsychotics only treat dopamine. You see the problem with that? Where's the glutamate treatment? That is why I suggest you treat individuals with schizophrenia with D-cycloserine paired with CBT. CBT is cognitive behavioral therapy, just in case you did not know. And your D-cycloserine. That is more likely to be a cure than just saying, here, let me treat your dopamine. D-cycloserine will boost glutamate, which will enhance your learning and memory, and then linked with CBT, will then be able to allow the therapist to recreate your thought process. So see, take your antipsychotic. Thank you for listening, and I hope you guys return next week for my next blog.